Hello and welcome to the race brief, the 2024 race brief of Javelina 100. I am so excited to welcome each and every one of you to this year's race. My name is Jubilee Page. I am your race director for Javelina, and I am looking forward to each and every one of you coming out to the desert to experience this very hot party that we've got planned for you. For this race brief, we're going to go over all of the info that you need to have a great experience at Javelina. We'll go over some of the details on the website, as well as your 2024 event guide, how to find your bib, and all of the fun activities planned by our amazing sponsors. Of course, Javelina is presented by Hoka, and we are so excited to have them back for the 2024 edition. They've got some incredible activations along with the rest of our partners for you this weekend. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive in and give you a real quick overview of what you can find on the website and how to find your bib. So we've added a couple things to our website. One is going to be the 2024 event guide. That's going to have all of the additional info and further details of the event this weekend, where you can find and maybe answer some of those questions that you still have lingering before this weekend. Right off the bat, I do want to show you how to find your bib number. So as you check in this Friday for the Runner Expo, you make sure that you know your bib number when you come into the tent, and we will make sure to get all of your goodies and set you up for an amazing weekend. So if you go to Find Your Bib, Javelina 100, and all you have to do is type in your name, and it will populate for you. So we're going to look for Jessica Vanderbush, 1249. Van Duzer, Ryan's coming back, 303. Really easy way to find your bib right on the website. All right. Before we get into the runner guide, I do want to show you some of the amazing events that are happening this weekend, starting early. We've got tomorrow a group run. We've got a happy hour, and Hoka has so many things planned for you starting Saturday and Sunday. So if you go to our Hoka events, we've got a shakeout run happening just before the expo on October 25th. That's going to be your Friday, 10 a.m. right before the expo at 11. We've got Heels and Heat, Queens on the Catwalk. So if you are interested in this Halloween weekend and you do want to dress up, we encourage you to join us for our fashion show right at the start finish, and welcome local drag queens from Phoenix to host you in this fabulous walk-off of a fashion show for our Halloween. We've got starting tomorrow, Wednesday night group run, and we've got cocktail hour starting Thursday. We've got a scavenger hunt happening, I think, through the event, through the expo event, as well as the Javelina crew contest, both Friday and Saturday. You can sign up if you are decorating your crew tent. We've got the Junior Javelina's kids run, which is a lot of fun, and your hangover yoga Saturday morning, right after the start of the event. So big shout out to Hoka. They have been planning some amazing things for you this weekend. All right. Back to the website, we've got the 2024 event guide. This is updated for you for all of the things happening this weekend and answering some of those questions that you still may have. So this is going to be both for the runners and the crew. This is one guide to rule them all. So this is the first year that we've combined all of the information to one comprehensive guide. That way you don't have to have several kind of floating around. But we want to welcome you once again to Javelina, hosted by Aravaipa Running and presented by Hoka. This is going to be our 22nd running of the Javelina presented by Hoka, and it always happens on the last weekend of October, so it is Halloween weekend. Feel free to grab a costume and all of the fun trick-or-treats happening in the desert. Your race location is going to be the McDowell Mountain Regional Park. Your address is there. It takes you to a little Google map. And, of course, Javelina is a 2025 Western States 100-mile endurance run qualifier and a golden ticket race. That means the top two finishers in both the women's and the men's divisions will automatically qualify for the 2025 Western States 100. Very excited. We have an amazing elite field, so I cannot wait to watch this incredible competition go down this weekend in the desert. It's going to be a hot one, so it will definitely be a very interesting race. Javelina is also Western States qualifier, so if you are looking to qualify and get your lottery ticket, all you have to do for the 100 mile is just finish your race. So you have 30 hours on Saturday to complete your race, and you will qualify to enter that lottery for Western States. A little bit about the history. You can go ahead and read about Jerry Kilgariff, who is our founder of this race in 2003. The biggest takeaway from Jerry is that she invented this race. She created this race really out of fun, out of a spirit of fun, and that's what Javelina is. So I want each and every one of you to remember that while you're out there, while you're suffering, while you're enjoying this incredible hot race, that you are out there with a spirit of fun, with a spirit of community. So we have almost 1,500 runners coming to this race, and I'm so excited to host each and every one of you in all three distances: 100 mile, 100K, and 31K. When she started, she just had over 100 runners in 2003. And so it went from just over 100 runners in that first year to 1,500 runners 22 years later. So we keep the spirit alive with Jerry always in mind. She joined us actually a couple years ago, and she is just a delight and really all about the fun and the spirit of this incredible race that she created so long ago. So little shout out to Jerry. Here is your table of contents. The lovely thing is, if there's anything that you want to jump to, we can, and actually we are. So I'm not going to go in order for this particular race brief, because there is something that I want to talk about first and foremost. After the introduction, of course, and I feel like this is starting to become a little bit with our races, at least for Black Canyon and Javelina. I'm going to talk about the weather. So first and foremost, I want to talk about the weather. I also want to talk about how to manage really hot conditions. So if you have not checked the weather for Fountain Hills, for Rio Verde, for Maricopa, that area, I'm going to tell you right now that the forecast is looking to be in the 90s, definitely, and most recently in the mid 90s. So just as a reminder, if we go to weather, the record high at Javelina in these 22 years that we've been running the race was 95 degrees. And we are looking at a 95 to 96 degree day on Saturday for the 100 mile, 100K. That said, I do want to reassure that all of the runners, we will have enough water and enough ice to make sure that you are all hydrated and also cooled down. So one of the biggest things that we stress in the desert, one, that you are going to be completely exposed out there, and you will, regardless of the temperature, feel much hotter than you realize. And because it's a dry and arid environment, you will feel that you're not actually sweating, and you're not going to understand or really feel how much water you're losing through each loop. So I want to make sure, first and foremost, when we say we highly recommend a minimum fluid capacity of 50 ounces for loop 1 and 70 for loop 2, we are not kidding. So that first loop will feel fun. It will feel exciting. You get to feel the energy of all of these amazing runners and athletes lining up for an amazing day out on the beautiful terrain of the McDowell Mountains in the Sonoran Desert. And after the first loop, you're going to start to feel that heat. So when we say 70 ounces for loop 2 and 3, please take that seriously. It does heat up very quick. And as soon as the sun rises, just give it just a couple hours and you are going to feel it, especially for loop 2. Loop 2 is going to be a grind. And we want to make sure that you are set to go. You might be hot to go between that 6.5 mile stretch between 8 stations on each loop. So that stretch is going to be between Coyote and Jackass. So my recommendation would be top off your fluids at Coyote and make sure that you can go ahead and get to Jackass. On that loop 2 and 3, make sure that you top off that water. I want to talk about running in the heat. Hydration is key, of course. So that's what I was just talking about, making sure you're hydrated along the way. And especially for the desert, and particularly for this race, what we do is we talk about evaporative cooling. So it's not just good on your body or in your body, but on your body. We want to make sure that, yes, you are hydrated, but also that you utilize that evaporative cooling effect. And to do that, you can douse your hat, you can douse your running clothes. If you have an ice bandana and some extra capacity for ice and water, anything wet to keep you cool, because that will start to dry as soon as you're back out on the course. So make sure that you take advantage of that. Please look into this. I want to make sure that you are staying cool and that you keep your body temperature down during the hottest parts of the day. Okay? Shade your dome in any capacity. Please wear a hat. Wear a hat, use an umbrella. These are not uncommon to see. Umbrellas on the course. Shade is your friend. And the fact that this course is wide open, shade is imperative for you to survive the first several loops in the desert. So whether that's going to be a hat or some kind of brim or an umbrella, make sure that you provide your face, your neck, your dome with a little bit of shade. Okay? It'll help you keep your cool when your head is cool, quite literally. Sunscreen is your friend. I don't always follow this myself, but apply and reapply, sunscreen all day long. One of our sponsors is Tanry, and they will be passing out sunscreen at the expo. So if you are at the Friday Expo, please visit the tent at Tanry, and they will make sure to set you up with some good sunscreen, some good sun spray, whatever it's going to be. But apply and reapply. No joke. Of course, we're going to talk about ice. The amount of ice that we have for Javelina started several years ago when we also experienced a very, very hot day. And we knew that if this race is going to continue, we need to be able to provide runners with enough ice where they can just kind of utilize it to their heart's desire. And so that's what we have done. So we order anywhere from 15 to 20,000 pounds of ice, which if you do the math, you're talking about just a lot of ice per runner. Don't ever think that there's going to be ice running out, because we don't want to be stingy with ice, especially for you guys. So please utilize it. Please put it on your body. Please put it in your bra. Please put it down your pants. I don't want to know where you put it, but I just want to know that you are going to utilize it and you're going to keep that body cool throughout the race. Alrighty. So ice. Please study this page. This is going to be page 14 in your runner guide. Make sure that you keep an eye out on the weather. Keep those tips in your head. Here's some hot tips from Nick Curry. We've added this several years ago. And Nick is, of course, a veteran, Jamil's brother, and also a veteran runner of the desert and Javelina 100. And he has compiled these incredible hot tips for each and every one of you. So this is information and recommendations based on someone who has lived their entire life in the desert. So I don't, wherever you're coming from, whether it's going to be from the Midwest, from the East Coast, if you think you know what hot is, you don't, not here from Arizona. So when you're coming to visit, please utilize these tips and make sure that you keep them top of mind during that second loop. So regardless of the time of year, it's always going to be hot in Arizona, very low humidity. You will sweat and evaporate. Your sweat will evaporate quite quickly, and there's no shade. So again, it has reached the mid-90s. That's what we're anticipating this year. So I want to make sure that you guys have a plan to stay cool. We will provide the resources. We've got your back. We literally build oasis in the desert through our remote aids, Coyote Camp, Jackass, and Rattlesnake. So please utilize those resources as you move through your race. One of the biggest tips is every single year, runners will start too fast. So this will absolutely crush your race if you start too fast. And it's really easy to do that first loop because everybody feels so good and there's a lot of energy in the air. But if you have a race plan, I encourage you to stick to that race plan. I know it's really easy to get caught up in the party and get caught up in the vibe. And that's what we're here for. We want you to have a lot of energy, but we also don't want you to expel that energy too fast because we want you to have a very successful race as well. So please conserve the energy and just stick to your plan. Don't go out too fast. I cannot stress that enough. It has ended so many races. And I will remind you that our race at Javelina for the 100 mile specifically is historically 50-50 with the finisher rate. So every single year, about 50% of the individuals who start at the line will not finish. So we try to do our best to mitigate that with all of the resources you can possibly have. I understand that not every day is your day or the day that you want to have out on the trail. However, if I can give you one piece of advice, it's definitely do not start too fast, stick to your plan, and we'll support you along the way. One thing that we do also talk about is the temperature swings. It is not just hot, it is definitely hot. But as soon as the sun goes down, the temperature will drop dramatically. I thought, for sure I am the most dramatic queen in the desert. It's the desert itself. The desert is the queen of drama. Girl will drop down at least 30 degrees and you will feel that immediately. So what's going to happen is you're going to be out there, you're going to be sweating, your skin will be a little bit dewy, maybe you got some water and ice on your body, and then the sun is going to dip below the horizon and all of a sudden you are absolutely freezing. So a lot of people will get chills if they don't have a second layer. So we're talking about 30 to 40 degrees difference. And if you, like me, are from the Midwest and thinking that, oh, that's not too bad, I would run in shorts and a tank top in 60-degree weather, no problem. It's different in the desert. And that's all I can say. It's different in the desert. So just to be cautious and just to be prepared, there's nothing wrong with being prepared. Please add an extra layer to either a drop bag or to, if you're going out and you know that the sun is going to dip down during that next loop, throw an extra layer, something dry in your pack. And thank me later because it does get really chilly, really fast. Alrighty, so that's my spiel about the weather. My parents would be so proud that immediately I talk about the weather. But there it is. I want you guys to be prepared. And when I talk about the Arizona heat, I'm going to be serious. It is 95 degrees. Last year, it was 89 degrees. We still saw just above maybe a 58% finisher rate. And so be prepared. Look at those pages. Study those tips. All right. Now we can go in order. Alrighty. Strap in. The lovely thing about this runner guide, or this race brief rather, is that you can just stick me on in the background. If you are putting your drop bags together, if you're talking about your crew or your crew tent, or decorating, putting your decorations together, packing, whatever it is. If you're on a long drive out to the desert currently, you can just put me on in the background. Listen, I am going to go over every single page of this runner guide and break it down for you. And if you have additional questions, reach out to us. Our email is info@aravaiparunning.com, and we will do our best to make sure that you are prepared in every way. Okay. Eco-responsibility. I love the Sonoran Desert. I'm actually a Kansas girl, but I came to the Sonoran Desert about 15 years ago. And I absolutely fell in love with this landscape. It's stunning. It's so very unique. And it certainly is one of the most biodiverse deserts in North America. So it is precious to us in Arizona, and we just want to make sure that we take care of it and we care for it, and we can enjoy the trails, but also very responsibly. So we want to make sure that as we travel through these events and through these races, that each and every runner is very mindful about their footprint on this land. So we want to make sure that you're taking care of it. You're carrying your trash. You are burying your waste if you have to go in the desert. And you're practicing leave no trace, if at all possible. That also goes for crews. So I also want to stress, crews, please make sure that you are taking after that or following after that leave no trace concept as well. Okay, so we are a cupless race. This is an effort to cut down the waste. Javelina 100, of course, now hosts over 1,000 runners. And if you are taking a cup at an aid station, times 4 aid stations, but multiple drinks per, the cup count would add up. And so just in an effort to reduce waste and kind of be a little bit more responsible, we are asking every runner to carry their own cup. And you can carry a container, a cup, a flask, a bottle, just a secondary bottle. You can carry, whatever is going to fill like the sodas or electrolyte drink or anything additional that you want to sip along the way. Go ahead and carry that container for us to make sure that we cut down on the waste. So we'll have reusable cups available at registration and at the expo and on race day. So if you don't have a cup, we got you. Like I said before, please carry the trash. We want to make sure that not only runners, but also crew spectators make sure that their environment is free from trash. And so I want you to use the receptacles that are made available to you. We have several dumpsters on course in the Javelina headquarters. We have several trash cans spread out through the Javelina headquarters. And of course, at each aid station along the way, there are several refuse bins as well. So please be mindful, carry that trash, and also help each other out. So if you are running and you tear off a little goop packet, something like that, and that tab falls out of your pocket or out of your vest, the next runner, please pick that up. please look after each other. Don't just pass it by. Help us out. We love our trails. We want to keep them clean, and we want to keep continuing to use them year after year. And the way we do that is we show the park that we care. So this is the way to do it. Be mindful, be considerate, and pick up your trash and carry it to the next trash can. Thank you. We will have recycling receptacles for aluminum cans. We do have a charity beer garden this year. Glass bottles are going to be banned this year as well. So no glass bottles at Javelina. All of our vendors are aware of this as well. But if you do get aluminum cans or anything like that, you can dispose of those at our beer garden, and we will carry those to the next recycling plant. If you would like to discard your shoes, we have partnered with Soul Sports to donate gently used running shoes. So if you strap on those brand new Hokas, tie them up, run 100 miles, and want to donate them at the end of your race, you can. It will be found in the expo. We are also a partner with GOO on their TerraCycle program. So if you will find GOO at every single aid station, this is going to be the liquid gels. And once you're done with those, go ahead and put them, like this is energy bar wrappers, GOO packets, anything like that. Go ahead and put those in our TerraCycle boxes, and we will upcycle those through GOO TerraCycle. All right. So now we're going to get into race week. Welcome to race week. This is going to be Friday, October 25th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Javelina headquarters at the McDowell Mountain Regional Park. So this is going to be your start finish. This is going to be the entire event site. You're going to get to know it really well if you are out there with your crew, with your pacers, with your loved ones. This is going to be the start of it. So runners can pick up their bib packet and starting at the Javelina Expo at 11 a.m. I do want to note that there is no race day pickup for the 100-mile 100K. Just because of the sheer size of this race, it is not uncommon for marathons or anything like that to not have race day pickup. And because we are growing in popularity with the amount of runners that are coming out to the desert to experience this race, we're very excited to organize it this way. And this is the second year that we've done it, but so no packet pickup race day. So please come to the expo because there's so many amazing things happening, and it's a great way to kind of kick off your weekend. So that's going to happen in the Four Peaks staging area at the McDowell Mountain Regional Park. We belovedly call it Javelina headquarters, and runners, crew, and family are all invited to experience this. We've got amazing vendors. Just to touch on a few, of course, our presenting sponsor, Hoka. We've got Rabbit out there with some incredible merch customized just for Javelina. So make sure that you stop by and you see their merch. We've got GOO out there giving samples along with Tanri. I mentioned the sunscreen. Please visit Tanri for that to get you set up for race day. We also have, and I'm very excited, this year is going to be new, Pacer Place, presented by Runner. And so we are not only outfitting our runners this year, we also have some additional goodies for the pacers. So if you do have a pacer, they need to pre-register for their bib at the expo. They can sign a waiver, pick up their bib, and a little something for them as well, just for being out there to support you. I know that pacers and crews are such an important part of this 100-mile experience for so many of you. And so we want to make sure that the Javelina experience is a good one for everybody involved. So pacers, crew, families, kids, whatever it's going to be, we want everyone to have fun, just like Jerry Kilgariff, invented this race or produced this race out of a spirit for fun. We want to bring that fun to every single person. So I'm really, really excited. We partner with some amazing people. Squirrels Nut Butter is going to be out there, CTS Coaching, Soul Sports. Soul Sports is going to be out there both Friday and Saturday, and they bring all of those necessary race essentials. It's one of our very favorite partners and running stores here in the Valley. And they're going to be out there. So any race essentials that might not have made it into your bag, go ahead and check out Soul Sports and they'll be able to help you out. We also have an incredible community. And so this year I've invited 3 wonderful artists, Heidi Gardner, Abigail West, and Chris Hawthorne. They're going to be at the expo presenting their artwork. So they've got some amazing prints. They've got some amazing pieces to share with all of you. And something new this year as well. We've got With Love from Javelina. That's going to be right inside the expo tent. That's a little bit of a surprise for every single one of you. So please check out our With Love from Javelina as well. PreRace photos. Of course, we love our photographers. Howie Stern and his team is going to be out there. And Howie will be doing pre-race photos starting at the expo, 11 a.m. and throughout the day. So if you are excited to get your bib, go ahead and see Howie and do a little cheese, get all your runners in there. And he's going to be out there with his team all weekend long, starting with the expo, but then also all around the course all day long. And his photography is outstanding. So very, very lucky to have Howie Stern back in the desert. Soul Sports, we went over a little bit, and Hoka plus Javelina, that's going to be that Hoka event hub. Again, check it out, plan a little bit with your crew, what you want to see, what you want to attend. I will say that one of my favorite things every year is going to be that kids run. It's so cute to have families participate in this way. And it's the only PG part, I would say, of Javelina is going to be that kids run on Friday. So make sure that you cheer on the little ones and those future hopefuls for Javelina. Your schedule events is listed. Here's all of the details. This includes the Hoka experience as well. It includes some of our group run activities, our movie night, everything that you want to do Saturday, also on Sunday. And it's going to break down race day for you as well. So making sure that you know when your race is, what wave you're in. When you look at your bib by Friday, you'll also know your wave. So make sure that you stick to that wave and show up at the appropriate time. So, and we'll go over what that means for cutoffs and things like that as well. One of the fun things that we're bringing back this year is going to be Honest Bob Tattoo, Ink in the Desert, presented by Goo. So if you ever wanted to get inked in the desert, this is your chance. So we do have full slots. However, there is a wait list for Honest Bob. And also, Honest Bob is a local tattoo artist here in Phoenix. And so if you missed him this year in the desert, you can look him up here in Phoenix. So make sure that you kind of go over your schedule. A lot of fun things. And also just kind of a breakdown of your race. Family night. This is going to be a little extension of Friday Expo, but it kind of gives you a little bit of a breakdown just for Friday. So we've got vendors on site. We've got the family night. We've got Kids Corner. The vendor village opens for different things out there. And we've got... Movie in the Desert. That's what it is. Movie in the Desert for families as well. And then, of course, we want you to get a good night's sleep before Javelina. That's going to be 8 p.m. is lights out. So the expo ends at 7 and quiet hours start at 8 for all you campers. A little bit about the course. You can read a detailed breakdown of the course. Biggest thing to take away, it does look like it's not a lot of elevation gain. I will tell you that after several loops, you'll start to feel every single climb like, oh, I remember you. And there is several washes, a lot of up and down that doesn't feel like a big deal in the first loop, but the subsequent loops, you'll start to feel that elevation gain a little bit. So don't underestimate what the cumulative gain will be after each loop. Biggest takeaway, of course, is that all loops are run one way in a clockwise position. We used to do a washing machine. Now we have changed it to, because we have so many people on the course, one-way loop, one way clockwise for the entire duration of the race. So if you ever get confused from headquarters, we do have people pointing the way. We have several signs. The course will be well marked. But every time you leave Javelina headquarters, you're going to go exit to the left. And when you come back in, that is going to be from the right. So make sure you are always exiting one way and coming in, because you'll come into the start finish every single loop. So I will go over that once we see a little bit of the course. Here is your map. One thing to note as well, the very first loop is going to be a little bit longer than the subsequent loops. So we've got the first loop after Rattlesnake Ranch, you're going to come to a junction. At that junction, we have people standing there. We have signs, but the very first loop, you're going to exit to the left. And then every loop after that, it will always be to the right. So we will do our best to make sure that that is signed appropriately, that there are people there to help guide you along the way, at least for that first loop. But only go to the Escondido loop, that very first loop. The rest of the time, you'll continue on Pemberton and Cinch. Alrighty. You can read a little bit about each of the loops. And here is a breakdown of your segment distance, the distance to each aid station, and where your drop bags can be. And then, of course, we have downloadable CalTopo 100-mile 100K. All right. Event rules are always super fun. I always say the reason we have these rules is because at some point someone broke them. So we have added to this almost every year, but these are the most important ones. I want to make sure that you do read through this, that you are very mindful of all of these rules, not only for the runners, but also for the crew, for your family, for your spectators who are coming out to enjoy the race. I want to make sure that they also understand how to prepare for this event. So going down the line, we're going to go through each and every one. And then it's on you. All right. So no drones allowed. This is non-negotiable. This event happens at the McDowell Mountain Regional Park. We are partners with the park. We are permitted for the live stream in one particular area, and that is it. But our drones are flown by licensed pilots. And if we find that your crews or spectators or anybody are trying to fly drones, it will result in the disqualification of that runner. So no drones allowed. Just no drones. Okay. Littering, also strictly prohibited. This includes organic waste. I know that it's really easy, I think, for runners to like grab an orange or a banana and then just chuck the rind or the peel into the desert and thinking that it's fine because it'll disintegrate. It'll be fine. It's not. And even toilet paper, please practice leave no trace. Toilet paper does stick out there for a really long time, and it is evident when it's our runners, because it'll be like hanging out in the cholla or under a rock, or and that's embarrassing for really everybody. So no banana peels, no toilet paper, no littering whatsoever. Please take care of our desert, and then we get to continue hosting this every single year. No pets. I am a dog lover. I love pets. I love dogs. However, we do not allow them at large events. So no pets. There is no exceptions. So make sure that your crew knows that as well. No glass bottles, period. Our vendors know this as well. So they will not be vending any glass bottles this year. So yeah, there you go. Don't move rocks. This was issued last year, and people did a pretty good job. And I will say thank you for that. But we are still a little bit still need to put it out there. We have a lot of people coming to this event, several thousand, and they, will put rocks in their tents to weigh it down. And I understand that you don't want your tent to fly away, but I need you to be better prepared. Find some different kinds of weights. Use water jugs. It will double as water and your weights. Or, good old-fashioned tent stakes. Great option. But please do not use the rocks from the border of the Javelina headquarters. So volunteers very graciously have placed those and made the border look very nice. And so it's not always pleasant to see people taking rocks out of the desert or off of that border to weigh down their tents. I see it every single year. We do mention it. Please don't do that. And it's just, again, one of our practices of leave no trace, right? So just be mindful. Don't move rocks. Don't move anything from the desert. Okay, so this is a closed course. Runners have to follow the course as marked in the direction of the race. So as I mentioned, it is a clockwise direction. So deviating from that course, taking a wrong turn, or accidentally starting to go backwards on the course. I don't know. A lot of things happen that will result in a disqualification. However, if you do decide that, I went off course, if you go back to the course and you retrace those steps, you'll get a little extra mile, but you'll still be able to allow it to be continued. So just make sure that you are following the course as marked. Please respect all volunteers and park staff. That is pretty self-explanatory. They are there to help. We have an incredible staff at the park. We have an incredible group of volunteers that are hosts at the park, and they are really there to support you in your run and to support your endeavor. So please, please, please be kind to those individuals who are volunteering their time to help you on your way to Javelina finish. Alrighty. Cutoffs will be enforced based on gun time. So that is 6 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. That is your gun time. Your wave 100-mile start at 7 a.m. For the 6:30 waves of the 100-mile start, and then the 7 o'clock, of course, for the 100K start. No times will be listed after that 30-hour cutoff for any reason. So that is your official race time. Buckles, however, are awarded based on chip time. So if you find yourself lining up in the back of the pack with several hundred people and you don't actually get to cross the starting mat until, say, 6 a.m. with like maybe 30 to 40 seconds. You get that 30 to 40 seconds to get that buckle. So your buckle awards are based on chip time. So when you cross that start line to then when you finish that. So trekking poles are not allowed unless under special circumstances. So if you see me at the finish line, you are welcome to come and talk to me and saying, hey, I'm going to need to use a pole because of whatever it's going to be. I will say no to all poles on that very first loop. We have too many people on the course and on the single track. So unless it has been previously discussed, no trekking poles allowed on this course. Crews are permitted only at Javelina headquarters. This became an issue last year. We do have some remote aid stations that are accessible. But just because they are accessible does not mean you get to access them. Crews will see their runner after every single loop at Javelina headquarters. That's the lovely thing about Javelina, is that crews get to see everyone there at Javelina headquarters, and then we keep the party and the vibe. All of the vendors are active. All of the activations by our incredible hosts, by our partners, by our sponsors, are happening all at Javelina headquarters for the crew. So just making sure that crews do not go to any remote aid station. If they are found out there, if they are asked to leave and they do not, we will disqualify that runner. Music with headphones, absolutely allowed. So headphones are great. Keep the vibe going while you're out there. I will please ask you, do not have one of those speakers and blast your music to the rest of the group or to the desert. This is part of leave no trace practice. Having music on speakers out in the wilderness does leave a trace. So it does disrupt bugs and birds and all the things that make noises out there. If you bring your music into the remote parts of the desert, it is leaving a trace. So we want to make sure that you leave no trace. Please wear headphones. Very easy. Crews should be self-sufficient on race day. That's also pretty self-explanatory. All that means is that crews should be planning for their food, their water, anything that they're going to need on race day, Saturday and Sunday. We will have certain amenities on at Javelina headquarters, but resources are limited in the desert, and we are in the desert. So I just want to make sure that, if you're going to use the crew water, that you are not going to be excessively filling, 10 gallons at a time, because we want to be able to share those resources with everybody out there. So crew should plan really to bring extra water, to bring ice. We do have ice on sale, but of course, sale ice is limited as well. So just make sure that you are planning. And if, you run out, that's okay. Town is 10 minutes away. Alrighty. All right. So we already went over the weather. We already went over hot tips. Make sure, again, that you take this seriously. 95 degrees in the desert is no joke. So when we talk about hot in the weather, yeah, it's going to be fun though. Okay, so let's talk about park entry and parking. The McDowell Mountain Regional Park charges $7 entry fee per motorized vehicle per day. However, with your registration, you already have that entry fee included when you registered for the race. So that covers all days, including when you arrive Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? So if you are a camper, that fee was worked into your camp purchase. If you are a VIP park or RVer, that price has been worked in for that Thursday night. So once you receive your park pass, that's going to cover you for the entire weekend. However, if you have crew or friends or pacers coming in later that evening, or throughout the weekend, they will pay that $7 entry fee. This is how the park supports itself through gate entry. So make sure that you are giving back to the park. And if you do want to support the park further and you are somewhat local, there are annual passes available from the park at $85. And that will actually get you to all of the regional parks. So check them out. This is how we support the park. And yeah, so make sure that your crew and pacers know that as well upon entry. All right, parking at the Four Peaks staging area. This is headquarters, will be restricted only to RVs, and that's it. So RVs with a valid permit, this is campers or trailers or RVs, whatever it's going to be. You have already purchased your permit. You are the only vehicles allowed within headquarters, period. All other vehicles will need to park either along the main road or if you do have a VIP parking permit, you get to park in the comp lot. Okay. Vehicles with the premium parking permits are welcome to car camp in the competitive lot. No tents are allowed in that lot, not this year at least. And we want to make sure that if you're car camping, it's true car camping. It's not a car plus a pop-up or a car plus a tent. It's just your vehicle, should be self-contained. Vehicles parking along the main road will be able to pull off safely. You can see all of these examples. Couple of notes, however, on the left side, beautiful parking. Love that parking. Great job. On the right side, however, there are a couple of cars kind of like parked up on the berm and like kind of eking into the desert a little bit. We do not want to do that. So that's not very mindful. That is not very demure. We want to make sure to stay out of the desert with our vehicles because, of course, parking in the desert does disrupt that habitat. So please make sure that if you are parking alongside the road, you do it with some consideration. Very nice. That's very nice. Okay. So I will say, just as a reminder, again, not off-road, but there is no camping on the side of the road. So again, no tents and preferably no hatchbacks, no camping. You are on a main park road. That means it will see traffic throughout the event. And camping is not great. Also, there are no resources for campers. So last year we had some issues with car campers using outdoors along the side of the road as their restroom facility. Please do not do that. It's not a joke. This was an issue last year. So please don't do that. Please do not camp in your car on the side of the road. No. Oh, there will be no vehicle access to headquarters on race day. This is the Four Peaks lot. This is the headquarters, will remain closed. So for those individuals who are parking inside the park, this is the RVs, the sprinters, the individuals who have permits. There is no coming and going. Once you are parked for the weekend. So there is also no access to headquarters. So if you are a crew or if you are a family member or a spectator looking to come into headquarters to pick up your runner or anything like that, that will not be allowed all day on Saturday. Once the race begins, that gate will not open again, and it will be locked throughout the event until Sunday at 6 a.m. All right, so plan accordingly. All right, let's talk about race day. This is something new. I love new things. Here is a lovely map of our headquarters. So on the left side, you're going to see our Javelina headquarters. That is our main event space. And then, of course, on the right side, right up the top, that is going to be the comp lot, VIP parking. And then, of course, we invite parking alongside the road. However, in the past, we have not authorized a drop zone. What happens is right after the gate, people want to go ahead and like have their runners or have their whoever jump out of the car, and it's just going to be a quick stop, and it's going to be quick. That's never the case. And what it does, it actually backs up traffic all the way down the McDowell Mountain Parkway or the McDowell Mountain Road. And it does create a delay. And so we want to be able to move people through the entry gate as smoothly and as quickly as possible. So in order to expedite that efficiency, we have created this year for you a drop zone. So you will see in red, that area will be coned off for crews or pacers or family members to pull off to the side of the road. Their runner can get out of the car, and then you'll see on the left side there is a actual road, a little road that goes through the wash and then pops you out right next to our main aid station and medical. So that's actually a shortcut to the finish line. This is a great little bonus for individuals. So if you look at this photo up here, okay, if you dropped your runner right at the entry gate, they still have kind of a long haul across the access road through all of headquarters, way up to the start of the finish line, hustling and bustling and doing all the things. And now you're creating traffic jams and all the things. Do me a favor. Don't do that. Okay? Keep runner. Keep going. And, oh, I love that. Look at that red zone. Oh, drop zone. Love that. Love that for everyone. So please do us a favor. If you do need to drop off your runner, or if you need to drop off a crew member or something like that, please do that here for you. Lovely. Something additional that we have created are park shuttles. Inside the park, you will have access to park shuttles. I understand that it is not ideal to park all along the road, all the way down so far from headquarters. However, we have dedicated shuttle stops this year and dedicated times. So on Friday during the expo, if you are way down there, about a mile away, we do have shuttle stops for you. They will be flagged, they will be marked, and then we have coaches coming through to pick up runners, crew, staff, whatever, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday. So that is a majority of your expo time. As long as you are done by 6, then you won't have a very long walk. It's great. Saturday in the morning starts at 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. So about an hour before the 100 mile, 2 hours before the 100K. If you are parking a little bit further down the road, make sure that you go to one of our shuttle stops. Our shuttle drivers will pick you up and take you right to either the drop zone on Saturday, or on Friday, you get VIP access all the way to the big top tent. I love that for you. So very exciting. Saturday through Sunday from 4 p.m. to 3 a.m. So on Saturday evening, this is for the Jackass runners, even thinking about you guys. Love you guys. Saturday, starting at 4 p.m. when the Jackass runners arrive, all the way to 3 a.m. So Jackass runners, you have until 3 a.m., I would say probably till 2:30, to make yourself all the way around that loop and then to grab a shuttle right back to your car or to the nearest shuttle stop. And we got you. This is also crews or spectators or pacers who are coming in. Please take advantage of that Saturday to Sunday shuttle, 4 p.m. to 3 a.m. Or if you've parked yourself and you want to take advantage of a shuttle ride, go ahead and jump on the shuttle to take you to your car so you can exit the park, grab what you need, go out to dinner, enjoy a nice night on the town as you wait for your runner to complete the next loop, and then come on back. And we'll probably have a shuttle between the 4 p.m., 3 a.m. just for you as well. Okay. New this year, we're going to try it out and see if we can pick you guys up and take you where you need to go so you don't have to walk that road. Yeah. Let me know how it goes. Okay. Oh, race day. Really fun. Lots of energy. Here we go. Your start time, all races on Saturday, October 26th for Javelina headquarters. And the 100 mile will begin at 6 a.m. for the golden ticket to contenders. So this means if you are an elite, if you are racing for that Western States 100 mile golden ticket, and you're contending for those top two spots in both the men's division and the women's division, you've got to be in that first wave. Gots to. So if you are aiming for a sub 24 finish, or if you are a competitor, please make sure that you are in that first wave. This is a little bit self-assigned, but you did pre-select this in your registration. However, if you are assigned wave 2 and you decided, you know what, tomorrow's my day. I'm gonna beat the heat and feeling good, body's ready. I'm gonna go sub 24. You can switch the wave. Just let us know at the expo. Alrighty. Wave 2, you're going to start at 6:30. I call wave 2 the party wave. Okay. They know what's going on. They're going to take their time. They're going to get it done. They have a plan. They're going to stick to it. They're also going to get that finish in the Western States qualifier. Okay. So wave 2, you're my party crew. Love you guys. And we are going to kick it off something special. The 100K starts at 7 a.m. For all runners. So if you are in the 100K, that is every single runner. You do not have waves. 7 a.m. is your start time. A little bit about the waves, your sun and moon, all the things. I will say I did miss the full moon. That was this week. Nope, sorry, that was last week, not this week, but that's okay. I'm allowed a mistake. Okay. Timing, let's talk about it. Each runner, you're going to be issued a timing chip attached to the back of your bib. Very, very important. Do not fold. Do not bend. Do not crinkle around. Do not do origami things with your bib. This will damage the timing chip, and we want to make sure that we are tracking you all along the way. We will have live tracking, and that link will go live on race day, and it will also be available in the expo. So all you have to go do is scan a QR code in the expo tent or in that store tent, and you'll be able to track your runner split. So anytime that they hit a major aid station, coyote, jackass, rattlesnake, you'll be able to see where they are, which will allow the crew and the pacers to plan when they're going to come in for their next lap. All right. Cutoffs. Whew. Yee. Let's talk about them. There is a 30-hour cutoff for the official finishers of the 100 mile and a 29-hour cutoff for the 100K race. All cutoffs are strictly enforced. 29 hours, my goodness, all the things you could do with 29 hours on 100K. You get to party. It's a good time. So 3 loops, that's all you have to do for 29 hours. And of course, 5 loops for that 30-hour cutoff, official finishers of the 100 mile. Cutoffs for all aid stations will align, that's very important, will align with your race and wave start time. This, for an example, the 100-mile runners starting at 6:30 will have until 12:30 on Sunday to complete their race. And again, if you are shooting for that 24-hour buckle, you still, in the 6:30 wave, in wave 2, can accomplish this by getting to the finish line at 6:30 a.m. You do not have to get there by 6 a.m. It would be silly to think that you would have to run 23:30 for 24 hours. So you have a full 24 hours. You have a full 24 hours. You have a full 30 hours, regardless of your wave. So please count on that. Okay, 6 a.m. to 6:30. Sunday, this is your 4-loop cutoff. So it's going to be around mile 80 for the 100 mile and the 24 hours, and a 2-loop cutoff for the 100K. Okay, so 6:30, 6 o'clock for the wave 1 and 6:30 for wave 2. Of course, then for your finish times, 12 o'clock is your finish time for the 6 a.m. wave 1 finishers. That's your overall cutoff, and 12:30 for the wave 2 finishers. And the overall cutoff for the 100K, 29 hours is going to be that 12 o'clock cutoff. Alrighty. Moving on, we've got a little bit of race info. We've got all of the pacer info, last lap bracelets, drop bags, drop bag return, dropping from the race. Please go over this, and also go over this with your crews, with your pacers. We're going to go over every detail with the pacers. I just want to make sure that they are also following the rules while they're on course. So this is adding additional individuals to the course. So we want to make sure that they're also prepared. So pacers are allowed after loop 3 or at sunset for the 100 mile. This is called our sunset rule. So if you have completed 3 loops, your pacer can start after 3 loops. Or if you have completed just 2 loops and you come in and the sun is going down, you can take a pacer at sunset to help you along the way. So after 3 loops or at sunset. So say you come in, the sun is like dipping down below the horizon. You're like, oh, I need a pacer. You got it. So that is our sunset rule. We want you to have some company in the evening. Pacers for the 100K may join after 2 loops. So finish your first 2 loops and you get a pacer as well. Multiple pacers can be used, but may only be used one at a time. This is really also for the 100 miles. So because you technically get 2 loops with pacers, you can use a pacer for your first loop and then your second loop, or you can split it however you want to. But the pacers must be able to complete that full loop. So multiple pacers can be used, only one at a time. Pacers must be human and on foot. Like I said, we do not allow pets at Javelina 100. So no bikes, no pets, no mules, humans, aliens, maybe. All right. Pacers can only be picked up and dropped off at Javelina headquarters. So there's no meeting your pacer at Rattlesnake Ranch or meeting your pacer at Jackass Junction. Even if you are a volunteer at Jackass Junction and your runner comes in and you want to pace, that is not allowed. You can only pick up your pacer at Javelina headquarters. They're at the finish line. All right. So, again, that means each one of your pacers, choose wisely, must complete that full 20-mile loop, no exceptions. No muling or carrying of a participant's gear or supplies. So even if you're if you have a heavy pack or anything like that, your pacer is not allowed to carry additional water or anything like that for you. You must be self-sufficient. Your pacer must be self-sufficient. Okay. Pacers are required to wear a pacer bib and while they're out there with their runner. So if we find someone who does not have a pacer bib, then we will question them. We do not want to be able to pull someone off the course or a runner off the course because their pacers did not have a bib. If you do lose your bib on the course, you just need to go ahead and check in with one of our aid station staff and they will notify us and make sure that we know. Okay. All pacers must check in and sign an event pacer waiver. You can do this at the expo or any time at the Big Top Tent store, either Friday or Saturday, but it has to be before you pace. So you're going to sign that waiver, pick up a bib, and then you're on your way to have a good time on the course. Volunteer pacers can sign up to pace at the Pacer Connection inside the Big Top at Javelina headquarters. So if you are looking to experience a little bit of Javelina, you want to experience a loop, or you just want to help out your community and you want to help out another fellow runner, maybe get to know somebody from a different part of the U.S., then this is a great time to meet a friend, help a runner along their goal. And so we have inside the Big Top a place for runners to request pacers and pacers to say, I am willing to pace, please call me, and then we'll get you connected. All right. A little bit of last lap bracelets. This is always really fun. Runners in the 100 mile will receive a last lap bracelet before starting that final loop. So you do 4 loops in the desert. You come through the finish line. You said, I made 4 loops. I'm ready. I'm going out for my final lap. We want to celebrate you. We're so excited. We want to keep you going. So we have a bracelet to remind you that we love you. You know, you can do this. And you're going to go get that finish. So that signifies that you are nearing that finish, that you have traveled the distance and you are so close. So just to remind you, it's a little friendship bracelet from Javelina, and we want you to have that. So 100 milers, when you are coming through, make sure that you pick up that last lap bracelet, either from myself and or from one of our volunteers, and let us cheer you on for that last lap. Okay. Drop bags. Drop bags are allowed at Jackass Junction and at Javelina headquarters. We have a drop bag location at Javelina headquarters, and then we will transport your bags for Jackass Junction, which is that 10-mile halfway point. So every 10 miles, you get access to your own personal belongings, your own nutrition, your own whatever you need to keep you going. But please be mindful of the size of the bag and label it. Oh, cannot imagine how many people actually come with maybe similar size, color, looking bags. And if they are not labeled, they will get maybe lost in the shuffle. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that you put your a label on your bag with your name, your bib number, and your aid station. So we don't want to take a headquarters drop bag to Jackass and mess up the maybe the race plan that you had for each bag. So make sure you label them with all of that information and then drop it in the right location. Drop bags for Jackass Junction will be dropped right in headquarters. It is labeled for you. There's a big sign, and it is 5:30 a.m. that those are due, and then they'll be transported to Jackass Junction. If you want to do this and just kind of get it out of the way, Expo Day is a great time to drop off those bags. So you can go ahead and drop both headquarters bag or Jackass bag on Friday at the Expo. A little bit about drop bag return. If you are done at Jackass with your bag, maybe you only needed it for the first 2 loops, and then you've got your secondary layer and you're good, then you can place it in a discard bin, and we will take those bags back to headquarters, either for your crew to pick up or for you to pick up once you are finished. Otherwise, all of those bags that are remaining at Jackass will be returned by 1 p.m. Sunday. So this is at race end. Just making sure that we are realistic with our time. The travel time to Jackass is about an hour. So please make sure you understand that when you are looking to drop. There is a massive difference between dropping at Jackass Junction and then dropping at Rattlesnake Ranch. So at Jackass Junction, you'll wait at least an hour for a shuttle to come get you. And then you're just sitting there, maybe in the cold, maybe in the whatever, with your thoughts. Reconsider and take a little walk to Rattlesnake Ranch. It's also an amazing vibe, but it also allows us to pick you up if you do decide to drop at Rattlesnake Ranch. It's about a 15-minute drive versus an hour each way. So it's not only an hour to pick you up, it will be an hour back. So just to consider that, I want to give you all of the information as possible. And that's the reality of dropping at Jackass Junction. So if you have an option, just reconsider, take a walk, slow down, travel to Rattlesnake, and think about it. And I cannot tell you how often people will stop at Jackass Junction, convince themselves that they need to stop, that they need to drop, that they are done. And I am saying, if you continue on your race, just a little further to Rattlesnake Ranch, the chances that you will continue after that are very high. People have decided to drop at Jackass. They go to Rattlesnake thinking that they're going to drop there. And then they're like, oh, wait, I'm stronger than I thought. And they finish. So Just food for thought. These are the things that I've seen in the past, and I want to share those with you. So if you're at Jackass, you're having a bad time, that's okay. We have amazing volunteers at Jackass Junction. You can tell them your woes, and they will listen, and then they will also kick you right out of that aid station and get you going, and hopefully keep you going all the way to the finish. But yeah, try not to drop at Jackass Junction. It's just the reality of it. If you do drop, you must drop it at one of our major one of our major aid stations, and that includes headquarters. So if you are going to drop, please come to the timing tent and tell us. If you're going to drop at an aid station, make sure that you tell the captain so that we can account not only to get you a shuttle from that aid station, but also so that we make sure that you're not wandering out in the desert. And if you don't tell anybody and you do kind of just walk off the course, or you come into headquarters and you're like, nope, I've had enough, and you go, I will be calling you in the middle of the night, or one of our operations will be calling you in the middle of the night saying, hey, are you okay? You've last pinged at X amount of time. Just making sure that you're good. So we will disturb your slumber and make sure that you are safe. Okay? Oh, this is one of my favorite stories from last year. So, I love the fact that people come to the desert and, a lot of things can happen medically, but also just knowing that you're in a terrain that is maybe not the friendliest. We do pretty much have all of the things that stick and bite and prick out there. So this is something that happened last year, and someone took a spill and kind of head first right all over into the cholla. So this is what this will be. However, we do have an incredible medical team. MedStar Solutions is going to be on site at Javelina headquarters. They're going to be at the remote aid stations. I believe this might have been at Jackass Junction coming out of Coyote Camp. I do want to warn you about Coyote Camp. There's a lot of cholla hanging out there. So the little fuzzy looking balls like around the trail, don't kick them. Don't scoop them to the side. They will stick you and they will stay with you. So just a little food for thought. So gnarly. You guys are awesome. We've got, so medical is going to be on site. One of the biggest things that we stress is that if you encounter an emergency on the trail, so this means if you yourself are in trouble, or if you see a runner in trouble on the trail or at an aid station or anything like that, and you feel that you need to call 911, please do not do that. We have a dedicated staff and response paramedics that know this trail. They know the course. They know how to get to you, and much quicker than any 911 respondent from the local resources there in Fountain Hills. So do not call 911. Please call our dedicated line. That same number, 480-269-4126, will be printed on your bib. So anytime that if you feel you are in trouble, or if you find someone who's struggling and maybe they need assistance, go ahead and call that number on your bib, and we will make sure to respond appropriately. In addition to having an amazing medical staff on site, we also have what we call our safety patrol for this race. And this was kind of born out of experiencing a very hot year. This is just extra volunteers who are out on course throughout the day. They know the course. They're out there day and night with emergency aid. So they will have additional water. If you have gone through all of your water or electrolytes, or you feel like you need a little bit of extra fuel, make sure you see our safety patrol. They will be in vests and they will be carrying extra things for you. So be on the lookout for them. They're out there to help you. And just, give them a wave because they're going the opposite direction. They just want to make sure each and every one of you are safe. Alrighty? This is something new this year that we have implemented. Aravaipa Running, in our commitment to clean sport, has partnered with USADA. This is the United States Anti-Doping Agency, to provide anti-doping services at our events. So what this means is this will include sample collection, analysis services, result management, and because Javelina is a Western States qualifier and it is a Western States golden ticket race, you can absolutely 100% expect testing to happen on site at Javelina 100. So we will be testing 6 athletes at Javelina, so anybody selected, and this is random selection, but anyone selected from the testing will be subject to post-race urine or blood testing and additional follow-up testing up to 90 days. So if you want to learn more about the policy, you can go ahead and click that link and kind of read our dedication and commitment to clean sport. All right, let's talk about runner tracking. This is for your crews. This is for your family members. This is for anybody keeping tabs on you during the race throughout the day. Live stream tracking links go up live on race day so runners can share Javelina with those at home. Live stream, speaking of, is going to be produced once again live by Mountain Outpost. Mountain Outpost will be live streaming Javelina starting Friday at Javelina headquarters. And then they have an amazing team of broadcasters, commentators, videographers bringing you incredible footage, live action coverage of the race throughout the day. And they will be out there kind of capturing it all for you. So very, very exciting, really cool way that we share the sport. And so make sure that if you have family members or friends and you've told them that you were doing this incredible thing and running 100 miles in the desert, have them follow along. It's really kind of a cool thing to share. Crews and spectators on site who would like to view the live stream can do so. And we will have big screens in the Big Top and the Hoka Lounge this year. So 2 areas where your crews can gather, get a little bit of shade, stay out of the sun, and watch the action. So those 2, Big Top and Hoka Lounge, will be available for on-site viewing. Ooh, let's talk about crews. This is so fun. It's one of my favorite things about this race, is the fact that you get to share your journey, your race, your goals, and all of the excitement, all of the pain, all of the ups and downs of running such a big race with your friends, with your family, with the people who are closest to you, and kind of build your family crew at Javelina. So we invite crews to be there for their runner, and it is one of the easiest races, I believe, or in my opinion, to crew because we have everybody centralized. It's this amazing community vibe and community experience, and there's so many people who really understand ultra and maybe experiencing ultra for the very first time, and so this is just a really cool way to bring your most loved friends and most loved ones to experience a race like this. So as we do have rules for runners, we also do have things to note for our crews. So I'm going to go over each one and ask that you would pass this along to your crews. You would print out this page. You would print out really all of the event guide for your crews to study. Oh, I love that. I'm like giving you homework. It's adorable. Okay. So things to note for crewing. It is only allowed, like I said, at Javelina headquarters. Please do not break that rule. most of these things will have an impact on your runners. So it is your crew's responsibility also to make sure that they are following the event rules and just so that everybody is safe and everybody is having a good experience. And so we've implemented this, just making sure that everybody is accountable. Okay. Crews wishing to set up a pop-up. This is a 10 by 10. Will use a designated area outside the camping zones. There will be these crew spaces will be outlined when you arrive. And those spaces are by reservation only. So if you have already reserved for your crew through no man's land a space, then this is how your crews will set up. It's a 10 by 10 space that's outlined for you when you arrive. Just make sure that you stay within those parameters and that you're not taking up any more than you are allotted. Like I had mentioned before, do not use rocks from the desert to weigh down your tent. Leave no trace. Don't pick up things and then just like leave them lying in the desert. It happens every year. And then it's the volunteers of the parks and it's my volunteers that are picking up after you. So just making sure, once again, don't move the rocks. Aid station food and drinks are for runners only. You'll see big aid stations at Javelina headquarters, making sure that those resources are reserved for the runners because we do plan very carefully for every single runner out there. So you should be self-sufficient. The crews, the pacers should be self-sufficient on race day as well. Okay. We do have food vendors, coffee carts, a beer garden available at Javelina headquarters near the Hookah Lounge. The Hookah Lounge is a really cool place to kind of like spend some time as well, just to kind of get out of the sun if you're looking for a little place to kind of like relax, watch the live stream. If you want a little bit shared vibe from the finish line, it's a party all day long, all night long. And so you can come up to the finish line and chill in the Hookah Lounge and kind of enjoy that whole environment. Again, we want you to make sure that you pack for the desert, regardless of where you're from, making sure that you also plan for the heat. So crews, it's a hot day, even if you're under a tent, even if you're shaded, it's still like just being out in the desert in that sun is going to be wearing on you as well. So make sure that you have hats and shade and SPF. Go see Tanry, one of our sponsors, for sunscreen, and then warm layers for the overnight. It does get chilly. Ice will be available for sale at the Javelina Big Top. We do have a merchandiser there for you. So if you are looking to ice your runner down, making sure that they're cool on each loop, we will have ice available at each one of our aid stations. But if your crew wants to be able to take care of you as well, we have additional ice for sale at the store. No pets allowed on site. Runners, crew, doesn't matter who it is. Please take care. Leave your dogs at home. Leave your pets at home. It is way too hot anyway for them to be out in that exposure all day long. So please take care of your pets. Leave them home. This is always a disclaimer rather. This race is rated R. And I want you to keep that in mind if you are bringing your tiny humans. This is your little kiddos. It's not 100% child friendly because we do play some questionable tunes and risque costumes. And of course, we have a competition for best ass. So mooning is encouraged. So yeah. Just making sure that if you do bring your kiddos, you are aware of the environment. Okay. Leave no trace. I've said this many times throughout this brief. Just make sure that you take care of your trash. You take care of your camping gear. When you come to the desert, this is one of the saddest things that I see about a festival environment. And so I think, as ultra runners, as people and stewards of the trail, I think we can be better with our festival environments. And this is very much something similar to a festival with so many people camping and there's so many activities happening on at Javelina headquarters during the race on the weekend. I want to make sure that you're not leaving things behind, including tents, including resources like, if you go to Target or you go to Safeway, to the grocery store, and you buy 8 gallons of water in 8 different jugs, don't leave that just kind of sitting in the desert. Don't go and buy a whole bunch of camping chairs and then just leave that in the desert. Certainly, that's not very demure, not very mindful. If you would like to donate, if you are traveling in and you cannot take those additional camping items with you, we do have an on-site donation area, so you can donate the large tents, chairs, any event items that you would like to discard before your ride home. We will take those and we will use them at additional events, or we will bring them back at Javelina the next year. But please don't leave them, and certainly don't throw like big 10 by 10s in the trash. If you can, let us reuse it. So every year we talk about this, and every year I hear stories from our park rangers of people doing this, which is embarrassing for you. Please do not go in the desert. We have on-site facilities all over headquarters, kind of in pods all around the main event site. We have plenty of restrooms for your use at Javelina headquarters. Runners, we have plenty of restrooms also at the each one of the aid stations, and even at a road crossing. So runners, I can understand. Sometimes when you have to go, you have to go. Crews, you don't have an excuse. You are adults. I need you to not walk into the desert and pee on a cactus. Please don't do that. And if you are caught by a ranger or a staff, you'll be asked to leave the event. If you're asked to leave the event, your runner could also be disqualified. And I don't want to do that. So please make sure that you are just considerate of your environment. Last year, we actually had someone go right next door to our camp hosts, maybe thinking that they were just going to go into the desert. And turns out it was the back patio of one of our camp hosts, and they were caught. So please be considerate of your area and surroundings. And also, squatting in the desert or peeing on cactus, not advisable. Don't do that, because then you're going to visit my medical and it will be embarrassing for you. Okay. Moving on. Let's talk about no man's land. Oh, such my favorite thing. It is your crew check-in reservation. Okay. So crews, your crew tent check-in will operate per time slot reservation. This is a pre-reserved time for your crews, runners, to set up your 10 by 10 tent to claim a spot in Javelina headquarters. I do want to stress, if you did not get a crew space, that does not mean that you will not be successful at Javelina. Some of the best performances that I've seen were individuals who showed up with no crew, and they had a drop bag or a bin, and they did it all themselves. So I just want to stress that we do have community crew spaces. We have spots for drop bags. We have full resources and an oasis in the desert. Massive aid stations. So we will take care of you if you don't have a crew. If you do have a crew and you don't have a tent space, that's okay too. We have all of these other community areas for your crew to hang out, to crew, to help you along the way. And you can bring an extra chair or cooler and hang out and enjoy the amenities that we have put out there for you. Or even better, find a friend. What I love and I heard today was that somebody kind of like snuck their way into someone else's reservation and said, "Hey, would you be willing to share your space?" And they said, "Of course." So the more the merrier. And honestly, it really does ring true when you've got a whole bunch of crews and runners and you're all vibing together. It's just a really good time. So share your experience with people and get to know your neighbors, because we've got over 1,500 runners, and certainly you can expect a couple thousand people to be out there as well supporting those runners. So there you are. Moving on, only runners and crews with a reserved appointment can set up their crew camp. So that's in advance of the race. That means Thursday and Friday morning. When you arrive, your reservation, you're going to have that confirmation number. I want you to double check the confirmation number, because you'll have a confirmation number and a confirmation number wait list. That wait list is not valid, so double check what you have. But each reservation with confirmation number and a set time may set up Thursday and Friday. So that will allow runners and crew about a 90-minute window that was pre-reserved to arrive, to set up their camp, to decorate it however they want. Or if they just want to go and like drop off a tent or some coolers or chairs and just claim their spot and then come back on Friday and set it all up, you can do that too. If you are a runner who cannot make it to their crew reservation time, if one of your crew shows up, they can still check in for you. The runner has to be the one named, but your crew can check in for you and set up that tent for you. Okay? Runners and crews will need to verify their time reservation. Again, that's going to be your confirmation. Waitlist confirmations are not valid. Crew camp setup. You're going to receive information from our designated crew staff. So we have staff, we have volunteers on site to help guide you to pick the best spot that you could possibly want. And then crews with 5 or more runners will be allowed 2 10x10 spaces. And I want to stress that it's 2 10x10 spaces, not side to side. So if you find an on-course space, you are not setting up 2 course, like on course side by side. You're going to go 1 10x10 space and then 1 10x10 space right behind you. Same space, just being considerate of other people who might need to be on course as well. Okay. Crew camp setup. Safe space. Boop, boop, boop. Very important that we're just considerate of everybody who is out there who is claiming their spaces. If you come across a space with just an item in it, so if it's a couple of chairs and a cooler, that's a claimed space. Please do not move chairs or anything from a particular space and claim it as your own. So just making sure that in the spirit of fairness and courtesy, please do not move or displace items. Or, if you have a 10x20 space and you want something right behind it, it's not okay to move someone's belongings or to touch anybody else's belongings in a particular area. Okay, so just honor the designation and we can maintain fairness. Okay, very, very important. Just be kind. Community crew zones. I did touch on this, but not all runners do have a community or a dedicated crew space. I need and really want to stress that we have over 800 runners in the 100 mile, and we were able to offer about 250 to 300 spaces. So the math doesn't really math. That doesn't mean that everybody gets a space, but do us a favor. You can share the space, or for those individuals who are coming in and you don't have a space, we have 2 very large community crew zones, which is a really cool way to kind of like meet other people who are doing Javelina maybe for the first time, or who are veteran Javelina runners. Crews can maybe share resources, stories, whatever it is going to be. But these are shaded areas that are provided for you, and a lot of them have tables, extra camp chairs. So if you want to use those resources, they are available to you. We do embrace the spirit of community in ultra. One thing I love about ultra runners is, you're never going to leave a man down. If someone trips and falls in front of you, you're going to pick them up. I want to stress that that's the same vibe that we want to bring to the community crew as well. So, don't leave a man down. If you see someone who is looking for a crew space, you can direct them to the crew zones or the community crew spaces. Help them out, or invite them to, play cards or share a beer, be a community. It's one of the coolest things at Javelina. So, that's what I want to see. And, just have people help each other. Okay. If you want to look, at kind of our overhead area, you're going to see like the community crew area. You're going to see the tent camping, our expo, our Hoka space, and those community crew spaces are outlined for you. So you see where the Javelina, all the way next to our aid station, that is going to be one of the crew zones. And then the Hoka tent on Saturday becomes a community crew zone. It's a really cool giant tent, lots of shade. And that's also available to crews who do not have a 10 by 10. Okay, so there are resources out there for you. We want you to enjoy yourselves and carve out a little space for yourself. And you can do that at the community crew zone. Okay. Camping at headquarters. So camping will be available Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. For Thursday campers, you must have bought or purchased a party pass. So that party pass camping will allow you that extra night at Javelina headquarters. It will also allow you to set up your camp or your tent one day early and kind of like, just kind of get prepared and really enjoy the vibe. We do have a happy hour happening on Thursday. So Wednesday group one, Thursday happy hour, into Friday expo. You're already going to be there. You're ready to party. You're kind of decompressed. You're set. You're camping. Thursday party pass. That's that's what you're going to need. So the rest of our campers will check in Friday. Camp check-in begins Thursday at 12 p.m. for those party pass holders, and then continues Friday morning at 7 a.m. There is your Javelina headquarters and your legend. Take a look at that, and so you can kind of see where everything lies in the area. Oh, awards. Gorgeous. Love this. It's my favorite day. Sunday is my favorite day. I call it the Javelina Hallelujah. It's something that I do each year, and it is my favorite Sunday of the year. I get to celebrate you. I get to celebrate the finishers. I get to celebrate individuals who come to Javelina to beat the heat, to finish a goal, whatever it's going to be. This day is for you. So runners who do complete the 100-mile finish under the 30-hour cutoff will receive a Javelina 100 belt buckle, and those completing it under 24 hours will receive just a slightly larger belt buckle that says 100 miles, sub 24 hours. Yeah, really cool. Runners finishing the 100K under the 29-hour will also receive a 100K belt buckle. So these belt buckles are awarded to runners who complete the registered distance, and that means you are going to finish the race that you start. So if you are in the 100 mile and you complete the 100K, that means you've completed the 3 loops and you're like, you know what, that's good for the day. That does not mean you get a 100K finish. That means you get a DNF in the 100 mile. So once again, if you would like to drop in distance, you are allowed to do so all the way up to race day. And it's best to do it at the expo before you start. So if you are not ready for the 100 mile and you'd rather do the 100K, we can go ahead and drop you down. We can do that all the way at the expo Friday. But as soon as you start the race on Saturday, that is the race that you are in. That is the race that you are aiming to finish. Okay. All awards will be presented at the finish line. So once you pass that finish line, after 5 loops, after 3 loops for the 100K, you are going to be awarded a bright and shiny new buckle. So yeah, it's like my favorite time. Okay. Award ceremony for those podium finishers, for the Western States Golden Ticket winners, for the top performers, also for our misfits, is going to be Sunday, October 27th at 11 a.m. So Sunday at 11 a.m., please come to the finish line. If you're hanging around, if you're camping, if you are still cheering on your runners, come and join us. It's Javelina Golden Hour. It's Javelina Hallelujah. We are celebrating some tremendous performances. We are celebrating you. We are celebrating just a really cool day in your life. So it's just like my favorite thing in the world, that I get to be at the finish line for you as you cross the finish. And we have incredible volunteers who are also so excited for you. And we want to celebrate you. So that will be the top performers awarded on Sunday at 11 a.m. And then throughout that morning, all the way until race end at 12 p.m., 12:30, and 1 p.m. for, at 12:30 for that second wave. That's when your buckles will be awarded to you. Okay. All right, let's talk about misfits. These are extra awards. We've got some amazing individuals who had come to Javelina, and then they continue to come to Javelina year after year after year. So much so that we started to celebrate them after 5 years of finishing. So 5-time finisher awards will go to those individuals who have come back and finished the 100 miles specifically 5 times. And we have a very special jacket waiting for you with your name on it as you cross the finish line. We have best costume awarded to the top 2 runners who have the best costume. There are no rules as far as this award goes. So points are awarded for duration on the course and kind of the audacity of what you're wearing, and a little point for cleverness if you got it. So if you want to sign up for that, that is still on the website. You can click that link, and there's also going to be a link in your runner email, so you can revisit that email and sign up if you are going to wear a costume. Let us know, and we'll be on the lookout. Dead last, of course, goes to the last runner who completes the full 100-mile race under 30 hours of cutoff. And it does each year come to a few seconds. So really exciting. Dead last. Jerry K, most memorable performance. Of course, we give an award for our race founder, Jerry K. And this is really for, like I've mentioned before, the spirit of fun. So if you embody that whole vibe, the spirit of Javelina, and you come across the each loop, and you just make it fun. You make it fun for your crew. You make it fun for the volunteers. You make it fun. Then you are up for Jerry Kay's most memorable performance. Yeah. Best ass. Whoop. Pretty self-explanatory. Yep, that's it. Best ass. Show it off. Best team finish. Also, you have to pre-register for this, but this is free online. If you want to, if you have a friend, if you have a coworker who you convinced to run 100 miles with you, you can sign up for best team. And the times are based off of the collective between the two runners. It can be any kind of team. So it can be husband, wife, and siblings, or parent, child, or couple of servers from whatever, and they decided to run 100 miles. Great. Best team. Let's go. Youngest, oldest, pretty self-explanatory. We have, I believe, 16-year-old and a 19-year-old running Javelina this year. And then we also have several folks in their 70s running Javelina. And that's always incredible to see, because it just reminds you that age is just a number, and it's kind of what you want to do. So there you go. That will also be awarded on Sunday. Really quick, I just want to shout out to all of our partners. We've got Javelina 100, of course, presented by Hoka. And then some of our partners, we've got Goo, Rabbit, Runner, Squirrels, Nut Butter, Soul Sports, Tannery, Mountain Outpost, and new this year is a local vendor, Novel Ice Cream. They are out there with sweet treats for you, and they will actually be doing some passes for free frozen treats along Javelina headquarters. So look out for those guys. Yeah. That's it, guys. That's it, my friends. This is all of the information that you're going to know at the race this weekend. I want to thank you again, one, for letting me kind of go through all of the details with you, and just for coming out to the desert. This is by far the highlight of my year. I hope it will be the highlight of yours. It's so fun. Please remember that. I know that it's going to be hot, and I know it's 100 miles, and I know that you're going to be out there. It is going to be hard, and that is for sure what we're going to do in the desert. However, it should be fun. And we're going to try to make it as fun as possible for you. And that is the spirit of Javelina. We want you to have fun. Just remember, smile, and remember that you're out there doing something amazing for yourself. So I will see you all at the expo and on race day. And I look forward to hosting you all at Javelina 100, presented by Hoka. And hopefully we'll see you, each and every one, at the finish line.